All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Mike Potillo, the president of Immunotec, and I'm excited to be on with you tonight. We have a full call, a power-packed call, a lot of information on this call. So we're going to dig right into it. But before I get started, go ahead, drop me a comment where you are watching from. I'm going to put a couple things in the chat to make sure everybody knows the leadership English group to join, as well as some other details. So I'm going to drop that. It's funny. I say it every week that after this call, I get about 20 brand new people who are on this Zoom who are not yet in the English leadership group of Immunotec. So I'm going to put that in there right there. It's right in the chat. You can click that. It's a WhatsApp group. And that's where only English information is shared. Obviously, we have other WhatsApp communities, Facebook groups, things like that have Spanish and English and multiple languages, but that one is just for the English one if you would like that. A couple other things before we dig in. Those of you that are planning to come to our April 11th Immunotec boot camp, I am going to put that link into the chat. And that event is actually it's starting to get closer to the sellout. I don't think we're 100% there yet. We've got a little bit more room, but I just put this into the chat. It's April 10th and the 11th. The event is Friday night and Saturday. So Friday is going to be fun. We're going to be in our Immunotec gear. We're going to be at the office, kind of having an Immunobar experience, trying products. We'll kind of have a quasi cocktail party, if you will, just not cocktail dresses and suits. But we're gonna enjoy our time, meet and greet. Mauricio will be there, the CEO. I'll be there. A lot of leaders will be there, and you'll just get to rub shoulders and talk. And it's a great place to come for yourself. It's a great place to bring prospects. And then the next day, Saturday at 9 a.m., we'll kick off, and we've got a power-packed event all the way to 2 p.m. On Saturday. And then those of you that are flying in, you can fly in Friday, fly out Saturday afternoon, so you're home. And so it's a one-night thing, but you get two really cool experiences. The hotel that's right by the office, people are going to be staying there. It's the Embassy Suites off Hughes Landing, and beautiful hotel, great location. They've got full breakfast, bar, food, everything down there in the lobby. Great place to be able to meet for late in the night meetings. I know a lot of you like to get together after the meeting. We'll talk about that here in a little bit with my special guest maybe. And it's just going to be an extraordinary weekend for you to see what this company's all about, number one. Number two, for you to really, I don't want to say bond with the company, but like you're going to meet people that are making it happen, people that are doing it, maybe different than you do, but ultimately people that are having a lot of success. I think, many people that are having success in the U.S. market are going to be there. People that are earning 500 a month, people that are earning 5,000 a month, and yes, people that are earning 50,000 and more a month will be at that event. So make sure that you take advantage of that. And then lastly, on the updates, those of you that are part of the MDC migration in November or even before then, and if you're not part of the MDC, we want to let everybody know that HempWorks, HempWorks.com is live. So HempWorks is live, hempworks.com is live, and that's where you send yourself to order. You can log in with your same username and password that you have for Immunotec, and that's also where you would send any new customers or anyone who wants to order the new CBD line, the HempWorks line. They're all on that site. We do have a fantastic special in the month of March only. It won't be extended, and that is for all of your active customers that you had at MDC. We sent you a list via email. If you had an active customer or many active customers in the last 90 to 120 days, we sent that list to you. Your job is to pick up the phone, call, text, email, carrier pigeon, write messenger, WhatsApp, whatever way you need to communicate with them. Let them know they can now get on auto ship for $100 or more, and they're going to get free shipping for life. And there was several thousand customers that ordered in the last 120 days before MDC became part of Immunotec. So there's no reason that, let's just call it 50% of those customers wouldn't want to come and continue on the products and maybe try something new, even if they're not interested in the MDC products that they were on, maybe introduce them to an Immunotec product as well. So that is the announcements. And tonight, I'm excited. We've got a cool call tonight because I want to start doing, we make some announcements. This is a training call. This power call, we really want to share wisdom, to share ideas, and to help you get trained in something each week. Sometimes it may be social media. I've had Katie Weekamp on here, right? She's a social media guru. Katie, last week, like her weekly check just from customers was like over $2,000. So if you want to know how to get customers on social, she's a great one to listen to, right? You think about people who are recruiting a lot of new business builders. Those are the people that we bring on here that are putting in new people left and right. You're like, okay, what are they doing? What are they doing? How can I take advantage of it? I mean, those are the people you want to listen to, but it's like when you think about marriage, if I wanted to learn about marriage, I'm not going to go talk to a newlywed, right? They don't know a thing about marriage. I hope they make it, but the fact is, I'm going to go talk to somebody who's been married 50 years happily to the same person, right? And that they're still enjoying life, because I don't want to be 50 years in and be miserable. I want to figure out how to do it right. So you go to people who've mastered something, and then typically if they've mastered something, if they can teach it, man, then it's even better. So that's what this call is really for. And tonight, I've got Executive Diamond Robert Hollis on with me, and I like to call this the wisdom of the ages call. Now, Robert has mastered YouTube, he's mastered recruiting, he's mastered customers, he's mastered leadership development, he's mastered duplication, he's mastered a lot of different things. But tonight, I really want to talk to Robert. And those of you that are new to direct sales and you're like, okay, I don't, what's this wisdom of the ages stuff? I just came here to sell some products and post on TikTok, right? That's okay. But I bet if you hang around for 20, 30 minutes here as Robert and I kind of just have a conversation, I bet you'll pick up a nugget, at least one. I would encourage you to stay around. If you're a full social builder, Robert is somebody who's been in this business for 39 years. All right, so I want you to think about this. Just being in the business for a period of time doesn't make Robert successful, doesn't make me successful, doesn't make anybody successful. But listen to this. I mean, what's really cool is that he's helped 68 people in 39 years earn over $1 million in commissions. So he's not only earned over $1 million in commissions himself, he's helped 68 other people do that over a 39-year period. Your ears perked up a little bit, but here's what's really cool. When you think about building teams, right? He's built a team of just around 800,000 people, just a little under 800,000 people. And they've created that team over $2 billion a year in sales. He's written a book, How's That Working? It's in Spanish and English. And overall, Robert is just like a gem. It's somebody that I've known of my whole career. And it was really cool when Robert and I got to meet up in Michigan and just talk a little bit about that. And when I think about the wisdom of the ages, when I think about people that have chosen to become a part of Immunotec, the Immunotec family, they've aligned with it. Robert is not only aligned with Immunotec, he's all in with Immunotec. So when you take everything that I just said and you think about 39 years, 68 millionaires, a little under 800,000 people doing $2 billion a year in sales, and now he's a part of Immunotec, that's an interesting story that I want to pull out of him and see what we can do, because we're just getting started here. And I want to welcome Executive Diamond, already first month Executive Diamond. It was pretty wild. Robert Hollis, thanks for joining me tonight, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. And when you introed me, I was like, who is this guy? Because sometimes I forget 39 years of doing this. And when I got to meet you in Michigan and got to spend some time with you in Houston, I just need everyone to know here that Man, you're just amazing. You're just totally amazing. You made everything at home for us to come over here, and I feel like I've worked for 39 years for this moment in time.
Mm,
Because when you introduced me to Immunotech and I got to see everything that the company had, these were all the check marks that I always wish I had in a company. And I
yeah,
know that you felt the same way when you came over. You're like, how haven't I heard about this company? It's really, really bizarre that you look at the stability of it, the most documented product, and direct sales. When I used the product, I could feel the differences right away. And unlike a lot of companies, I immediately had people that I introduced the product to going, wow, this is the real deal. So I'm
yeah.
really excited to be here, Mike. Thank you for the kind words. And yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing I love the title, the wisdom of the ages, because it still works for me.
Yeah.
My first year in network marketing, I was able to hit the top position in a company and earned my first million before the age of 30. And everyone asked me, how did you do that? I'm really good, Mike, at following instructions. I'm a geek
Yep.
from the dark forest. I was an auto mechanic, and my mentor said, do this, this, and this. And I just didn't see any reason to go, well, maybe I could do it different.
Mm,
I just like I seen his documentation and I seen the documentation of the people that he helped. And
mm.
I'm going like, why would this guy share with me information that would get me no results? And then I quit. So if he's making money off me, this has got to be the real information. And the thing that I always see with people is, as me and other human beings, if I look at other things in life, we have a tendency of just not believing, not having faith that that's the way to do it. And then the second thing that we do is we overcomplicate everything.
Yeah.
It's just human nature. But I tell people I was too broke to reinvent the wheel. I needed money
Very true.
today. So I'm looking forward to
I
helping
I
people.
love it, Robert. And to kind of level set and put some perspective on this, I think it's kind of interesting sometimes just talking about where we're at today and then where we were at when the company started. You mentioned you've been in the business 39 years. The company started 30 years ago, 1996. And so you were 9 years into your career when the company started. And just for reference, I was a senior in high school.
I
So
just turned 64.
there
So
you go. There you go. Well, and one thing I love is that when I first got involved in direct sales, network marketing, I was in university actually. It was 1998, 1999, and a guy named Jim McDougall. He was an old Army Ranger, and he had retired. And him and his wife Diana, they lived in Kentucky, and I had dropped out of college to join direct sales network marketing, and he tried to explain this business to me. And for like 2 or 3 days, I slept on their couch. I was in their home. I didn't even know them, by the way. I met their son-in-law
that is old school.
and I just went. I went to their house. I slept on the couch. They drew circles. They tried to explain it after a couple days. I still didn't understand it. And I asked them, can I sell this product? It was a weight loss product at the time, and can I just make money doing that? And they said, yes. I go, how many bottles should I sell this month? And Jim's told me some outrageous number, and I went out and did it because I didn't know any better.
Didn't he know any better?
And that's the point that you just made is that he was telling me things that would help me become successful because ultimately that's what this business is about is that if you become successful, somebody above you benefits. If you help somebody else below you benefit, you benefit. And you've been doing
Yeah.
that for so long. So what intrigued you in general 39 years ago for some of the people that are brand
Right.
new? If you think about they're new today, you were new 39 years ago, but I'm curious if there's a correlation. What pulled you to this business?
Well, what pulled me, the thought that I had too while you're talking is ignorance on fire. I don't know if that's used anymore. But what happened to me is I was a mechanic. I was the happiest person on the planet. Everything was going great for me. And then I tell people to show you how intelligent I am. a van started to slip off of a hoist. We had it in the air, and I tried to stop it. And so when it slipped off the hoist, it hyperextended my leg, almost amputated it. And sometimes we listen to people that we shouldn't, but in this case, it worked out. So I'm in the emergency room, and he looks at my shirt, and he goes, "Are you a mechanic for Toyota?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "Not anymore." And my whole identity's gone. I was dyslexic. I wasn't good in school. I went to a trade school. So now if I'm not a mechanic, I don't even know who the hell I am. And so things got really, really bad, because you go from making, 3,000 take home. That's pretty good money back then. And all of a sudden I'm making $900 on workman's comp. So I was one of those young kids that had everything leveraged. And it's funny, when you start missing payments, they just take it all back. And then can't pay my utilities, getting her pay or quit. And I really tell people to this day, I even had a conversation with a guy yesterday, and I said, when things get so bad, I got down on the one knee I had left, and I just really just threw up my arms and just said, "God, if you got my attention, you know what I mean? If there's anything, I'll do whatever you need me to do, missionary work, whatever, it's just like, you got my attention." And then I get a call from a guy that I only met 2 times. His name is Sean Hennigan. And he said, people try to make their peak of interest too long. And so he said everything wrong. And so don't write letters to me. But he said, "Hey, have you heard of Amway?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, listen, it's something like that, but it's legal." Well, I didn't know what network marketing was. I've never, ever been approached to sales. I don't like sales. And I said, "Sean, please tell me what's going on." And he said, "I met this guy. His check was $62,000. He showed me the check, and he's looking for people that want to learn how to make 6 figures a year." And I said, "You seen his check?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "I'll come pick you up. I want to meet this guy." So when I met him, that's all I did is I said, "Can I see your check?" He goes, "Absolutely." It was still in the company envelope. Again, 39 years ago, it was attached to the stub. We only got paid once a month. And I looked at him, and just like you, Mike, I just went, I don't understand how a human being can make that kind of money. And he grabbed his printout. It was dot matrix out of his briefcase. And he said, "I have 30,000 people responsible for my income. How many people do you have responsible for your income?" And I was like, "Nobody."
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so the thing that I think is missing from a lot of people, and Mike, I'm interested if this happened to you too, it was not only that he started drawing circles for me, but he took that check and he goes, "Listen, what if I endorse this to you? I'll write on here, deposit only to Robert Hollis." He goes, "What would you do with that money?" I think the biggest thing that's missing from people today is they're trying to sell people and they're trying to get people into companies, but they forget about dream moding people. This guy destroyed me in a good way. I went, well, the first thing I would do is I'd get my lights back on, and I'd pay the back payments on my rent so I don't get kicked out. And then I would pay payments on my pawn loan I got on my used car. So I got transportation. And he goes, "Great." He says, "Of course, everyone wants to get caught up in their bills. Now, what would you like to do?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I made one of the stupidest moves I ever made. I told my girlfriend back from Montana that I didn't think that I was worthy of her because I don't know how to provide for her." And I said, so I sent her home. And I said, what I'd like to do is get an engagement ring and fly back there and beg her to be my wife. I really messed up. And he said those key words, Mike. It's like, "How would that make you feel?"
Yeah.
And I just met this guy, and I'm like, tears are running down my face. And he goes, "Robert, you can make that. I can make that happen for you in 60 days if you listen to me." And so what I see today is no one ever takes the time to tell people how to get into profit. What do they need to do so that their product costs them nothing and they're in profit? So when people call you up, hey, Mike, you're still in that, what is it, whey protein thing? You know, because they don't know how to explain it, right? And you go, yeah, not only am I in, but I'm in profit. And so from profit, it goes to that $300, to that $500.
Right.
What would it feel like to have all your family on the product?
Yeah.
Your in-laws, so what I see people really missing is this dream moding, that you put somebody in an emotional state of what their life could be like for them and the people that they love. When you do that, people will run through brick walls. But the other thing that they do is any kind of rejection doesn't bother them. I was on such a mission that I think that another thing that people don't do is tell people the truth. Don't be scared to tell them that there's effort and work here. So my mentor looked to me and he said, I'm telling you right now, you're probably going to have to go through 2,000 people. How fast can you pique interest, asking them if they're interested, of 2,000 people? He said, I got 70 people to watch this VHS tape in my first 30 days. Let's say you're half of me. I said, I'm not half of anybody. I'll drag people off the streets. And so he gave me two things. So when I'd go, hey, listen, do you know of anyone that's interested in making some extra money right now? And they would say, what is this? You lost. I'm out of here. It was like, if you said the wrong thing, oh, is this one of those companies? Bye. It was like my shortness of sorting people was very intense because I had to get 70 people to watch this video.
You had to get through the number.
I had to get to the number. Yeah. And when I did that, out of 72 people in 1 month, 11 of them got in and 6 of them made me a millionaire.
Isn't that interesting?
But now I look back, the momentum that I created, no cell phones, no internet.
Right.
And I was just like walking up to people. I figured out that I asked myself where people hang out. So I used to go to food marts at malls, and I go there between 11 and 2, and I would talk to 60, 70 people within that short period of time. I got more confident, so I'd start talking to people in groups, and I always could tell who the leader was because they were usually doing the conversation. So I'd walk up and say, excuse me. And they'd go, yeah. And I was wondering if you could help me out. I'm helping a company expand, and they're looking for key people. Do you know anyone that would like to make 6 figures their first year with our proven system? They're like, well, what is this? And I'd go, why, are you interested? And the bigger their ego, Mike, the more they go, well, of course I am. Whip out my little spiral notebook, got their phone number.
That's right.
And then the rest of them would go, well, I want to know too. I want to know too. But even back then, Mike, I didn't even invite people to a live meeting. I had a VHS tape.
Yeah.
And my mentor was never scared to tell me exactly the way it was. So he'd go, Robert, how do you know when people watch the video? I go, I don't know. He goes, you're sitting next to him. But I wasn't sending a link and hoping they seen it. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy. Well, but you think about it, it all started, and I don't want to use the word desperation, but you had that accident, right?
Yes.
So like you weren't, it wasn't planned, and so many people, I shouldn't say I didn't come up with this. I've heard it, but I repeat it a lot, and that is a lot of times success starts with disgust. And you're not happy with the situation that you're in, whether it's your fault or not that you're in the situation.
True.
It's like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I can't be a mechanic. I can't do that. So I need to go take advantage of it. But I do think I want to go back to the part about dream moding, because people miss that in
Yep.
today's world, because most of the time people join the businesses because of the disgust, because of the situation. It's from the fear of loss mentality as
Correct.
opposed to the opportunity to gain. And what I love that we're doing in Immunotech is that, we've got amazing products. I got one of each of the Immunocal here. You got the boosters, right? We've got products that people want. So today, you can lead with the opportunity like what Robert's talking about, or you can lead with the product.
Yeah.
And it really boils down. One thing I learned really early on in my career was something that you said, and that was your mentor said you need to go, how fast can you talk to, he said 2,000 people, or you said 2,000 people, and show the video to 70, get through the numbers. Like, I learned real quick that in a new business, even in Immunotech with me, I mean, I'm president of the company, but God knows I don't know everything about the company. So in the
Right.
beginning, you just got to go forward. You've got to learn. You've got to put yourself in situations. You've got to have those conversations. And I found
And
that
and everything else in life, we know that.
absolutely.
We know that. I homeschooled my sons. And so to get their driver's license, we live in the state of Montana. I go on a website, they have to have 40 hours of driving, and 10 of that needs to be at night. And I'm looking at that and going, that might be the minimum, you know? But I knew there were certain things that my sons needed to learn to do, and that took time with their butt in that seat.
That's right.
And
That's right.
so when they started getting good at it, then all of a sudden, when it came to take their tests and they both got their driver's license, I can't imagine today. Think about this. I can't imagine today someone says, I want to learn how to drive. And you go watch these YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And so the other thing that's always been really good for me is I knew that I needed to help people get their first win. You know what I mean? And helping them is not telling them what to do.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? And so I knew if I got them in dream mode and I could just help them. Nowadays, it's so easy to leave a message on social media or Messenger or reach out. But I can reach out to someone easier than you can. So if I said, Mike, if you could get anybody in the world in this business, who would it be? And you go, there's this guy named Chris Robinson. I get him in, I'm done. And I go, tell me why. And I'd learn a little bit about him. And then I'd go, well, Mike, do you mind if I reach out with him? And you go, what do you mean? I said, I'll just reach out to Chris and say, hey, Chris, I just leaving a message. I'm here with Mike, your friend. And I asked him who could help us expand our company. Who's the best guy you know? And he said, you. So I was wondering if we could drop you some information and see how's that go. And everyone I've done that with went, if I knew contacting people was that easy, I can do that myself.
Mm.
There it is. See, we get so in our, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I say the wrong facts? What if I say this? No, the couple of less than a minute peak of interest is the thing that people mess up on. It's like, why do I want to talk to people that are not interested?
That's right.
So
Find out the interest level and then go on with it. Go
yeah,
through the numbers. But
yeah,
what's the old saying? Make up in numbers what you lack in skill. And everybody in
always.
the beginning lacks skill, specifics about the company. But what you're talking about is just creating conversations. And whether it's
Just,
social media, whether it's a phone call, whether it's in person, create conversations with people.
yeah. And Jim Rowan was one of my mentors, Mike. He was funny because he had Larry Thompson and Larry Huff. I know you and I talked about that, and under the Thompson and Huff was my mentor, Bill Gould. And so when I got to find out who my hierarchy was, it was like, okay, so all these guys make millions, and it's like my upline in my first company was Jeff Roberti, the $100 million man. And so I look like I haven't made any money compared to these guys. And one of the things that they did all the time is it's like just simply asking people, what area of your life are you just tired of?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So Jim Rowan was really, really good as he said, the day that I said, I'm not living like this anymore, but he said, I never thought of it because I never had an alternative.
Mm.
So most people just sit around with no hope. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, listen. So when people get into this, if you say, well, listen, just get in, talk to everybody, and you don't get them in dream mode, I'm telling you, they're going to reach out, get rejected by a few people, and then
Yeah.
they're going to say this doesn't work, and then they're going to quit. And so if you guys, because the number one question I still get after 39 years, Mike, is what do you do to motivate your people? What do you do to get your people motivated? And I go, well, tell me something that they want. Tell me something that they're dreaming about for them and the people they love. And they go, I don't know. Wait a
That's the
minute.
problem.
Mike's on your team and you don't know what's most important to Mike? I didn't know I should ask him that. I think he would tell you
Hmm.
because people don't care what you know unless they know that you care. And so, how I would motivate people is not only leading by example, but I'd call you up and go, hey, Mike, you're talking about you wanted to do this coaching thing for your son. Did you figure out the best camp to go to? No, because why? Because you think it costs too much?
Mm.
Let's find out a coach you want to go to that you want to get your son to. Let's call them and find out what the price is. Let's find out when the dates are because you don't want your son to go by himself, do you? No. Then we got to get you the time off. I don't know if I can get the time off. Well, they'll either fire you if you take the time off, but we got to get you the money because having your son learn from the best people is the most important thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So stop making excuses. How many people did we peak today?
Well, I love that because I've been saying all roads lead to Immunotech lately. And just, when I think about people's dreams, when I think about their health, when I think about all these different things, like Immunotech has that answer
All
from
of
a
it.
timing perspective, especially in the US, Canadian, European market where virtually unheard of. Really,
Mike,
I mean, crazy.
I get calls like you do every freaking week from someone trying to get me into their company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that most of the people were mad when they heard I was over here. They didn't know that I was looking, right? So it was because of your relationship with Josh Wago and Chris Robinson that I'm going like, man, I don't get involved in companies because of comp plans and the owner's story and the products. It's like
Mm,
I get involved with people because they're the kind of people I trust and hang around. So
yeah.
Josh has paid me over $5 million. Why wouldn't I follow him? Right. So these people call me, and then all of a sudden, when I go, this is the first company. I love Mauricio's story. I really truly love your story as the president. And then I see all the documentation on the product, and I'm going like, am I in dreamland here? It's like because I've told people probably like you, Mike, that it's like, well, tell me a little bit about the product. That ain't important. You want 10 grand in your pocket? We can do that in 30 days. Let's go to work. You know what I mean? And it's like, in this company, it's like, I led with the product. My first couple of months in the company, I had just as many customers as I had consultants.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
very true. You were getting all the
So
free boxes of product just
yeah, I
for
got
getting
19 free
customers.
boxes of product.
I think it's great. Well, and what I like is that you took action on the product, you took action on the business, and you said something I want to hone in on. You said, "Hey, let's go make 10 grand your first 30 days." And some people probably heard that and went, "That just seems impossible." But it's happening. People are going silver in 7 days. They're going gold in 30 days. They're going
Me
diamond in
personally,
30
me
days.
personally.
You did it. And you think about 10 grand. Let's talk about 10 grand for a second. You think about
Right.
10 grand a month. Now, I can tell you this compensation plan is very consistent when you look at the numbers. I was talking to Chris Robinson a little bit earlier today, just before we talked about doing this call tonight, and we looked whether you're a brand new silver, brand new gold, brand new diamond, whatever your commissionable volume is, it tends to stay around that 10% of that commissionable volume is what your commission, your full
Right.
commission check with your weeklies and your monthlies, when you put them together, it's about 10%. Now, When you usually get to higher numbers, that percentage usually goes way down. But I was
Right.
looking at Chris's numbers that's made a lot more than 10,000 a month. And even though his commissionable volume was, five, six, seven times a lot of people at the executive diamond level, he was still earning that 10%.
Yeah.
And when I look at, Katie may not be on here, she's on vacation, but I'm gonna call her out. She earned 21% on her volume last month. And you go, what does all that mean, Mike? That just means when you look at the commissionable volume, the actual sales that happen in your organization, in network marketing, a lot of times you're making 4%, 3%,
Right.
5%, 6% maybe. People are earning 10% here very consistently, and many are going above that. When I saw the 21%, I said, okay, how do you do that? And it was exactly what you did. She didn't get caught up just in one lane. She went out and got a lot of customers. She went out
Yeah.
and got a lot of consultants, and she maximized.
And I would like to say to everyone here that if you're a brand new person, I don't want to mislead anyone. I've been in this, like Mike said, for 39 years. I have a large influence of people that will follow me into anything. Why? Because I treat them well. I've showed them
Yeah.
how to make money. So when some of you are looking at this and you're brand new, numbers are still numbers because I made $10,000 39 years ago. Because the other thing is just everything you do has to be so simple. A person goes through 3 mind shifts fast. They'll look at you and go, why should I listen to you? Who are you? And why should I listen to you? Here's people's biggest mistakes. Me, I go, you shouldn't listen to me. You should listen to Mike. So I'm not talking about me. I'm not saying what I made. I can say, listen, you shouldn't listen to me. So I know they're not saying that. They're just
Right.
saying, who are you and why should I listen to you? You shouldn't. You should listen to this guy and let me send you over a video. You should be listening to this guy. Then they're like, well, what is this? Well, that's covered in a presentation. So one of the very first presentations that you did, I got it. So if they get piqued the interest by you, then they also can see a presentation from you. Now they understand the overall thing. The only other thing they need to know is, well, can I do this?
Yeah.
And here's where my duplication comes in. I go, so I reached out to you, asked you if you knew of anyone that needed to make extra money. You asked, what was it? I said, are you interested? And you go, well, I don't know what it is. And I go, can you look at some short videos? Sure. That's what I did to you. Wait a minute. Are you telling me all you're doing is leaving a short 1-minute message and then what you're doing is you're sending them a playlist on YouTube? I go, are you in the company? Yes, I'm in the company. I just showed you on Facebook Messenger. That's all I did with you. And when you can get a person other than dream mode to go, well, hell, I could do that all day. That's what I do. So I'd rather focus on amount of peaks of interest instead of spending 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour on a Zoom trying to convince someone against their will. See what I mean? It's like,
Absolutely.
it's like, Mike, I know you got incredible skill set. So do I. I could convince anybody to do Immunotec. I could convince anybody to take the product. But if they're not going to take it every day as instructed, and they're not going to share their results with other people, why should I convince them?
That's right.
Because now they're calling me every day and they go, Mike, you got a minute? What do you need a minute for? I need another game plan. Can you tell me what to do? It's like, again? It's like, so it's got to be very duplicatable. If you can't share with somebody what to do, I had Bob, I seen him in the chat here. He was the #1 customer getter in our last company, and he's getting it. So right now he's I think he had like 22 customers already for this month.
I saw that.
And,
Bob's
and
crushing it. Bob Johnson.
yeah, Coach Bob, man. And I was just telling him is that he was just contemplating to consider, to evaluate, want to talk to, his wife and his pets and all of this stuff until he dropped the gun on it. And when he finally said, okay, I'm just going to reach out to every one of these people, that's why you got 22 customers. So what do you think everybody right now, Mike, is asking Bob, since I made a big deal out of him? What are you doing, Bob?
What are you doing, Bob?
What are you doing, Bob? I'm talking to a lot of people. No, what else are you doing? No, I piqued the interest of a lot of people. No, can you give me the secret, Mike? Give me the secret sauce. I talk to a lot of people. And let's make this clear. These are strangers. These, you don't get credit for talking to people that you've already talked to. But as soon as you can get that little click where your dreams, I tell people, if you're not emotionally attached to your imagination for what you can do for yourself and your loved ones, yeah, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to go through. And I always tell people it's pretty amazing because people say that they can't do this. And I go, man, if all of a sudden you got sick and you were diagnosed with something where you had to drop everything to stay alive, it's funny how fast you can switch your priorities.
Very much.
It's just like that. And when all of a sudden I have a doctor tell me I can't be a mechanic anymore, and that's all I am, then it's easy to do that. I'm just asking, what if you could figure out how to do that without getting in that bad of a situation?
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you're watching right now and you're listening to Robert and you're in a situation where you have the stress, whether it's financial, personal, mental, whatever it is, I can tell you this. Number one, you're in the right company for the right product that will get you in a position to have that natural energy, that natural approach to life. That I tell people, I forgot how good felt until I started taking this product. I didn't know what normal was. I thought I was normal, but then I realized my body was so abnormal.
Go off the product for 3 days.
Yeah, it's the truth, isn't it?
I'm telling you, just go off the product for 3 days. And when you roll out of bed and go, I forgot that hurt. For me, I was in a lot of sports and mixed martial arts and stuff. So everything hurts. And, I would just tell people all the time, here's another thing, is I tell people, what really can get you excited to go do something is I cannot watch videos enough. Here's a little trick on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff that's in Spanish. So if you just put in Immunocal Diamond, there's so much information and so many success stories on the product. And you can actually click on closed captions and change it to English and listen to them. But what I do is I watch videos, and there's someone that took the time to go out there and get interviews with all these diamonds and executive diamonds. And unfortunately, they're in Spanish. No, fortunately, they're in Spanish. If all those were English, we wouldn't have the market that we have right now. But the way I get myself excited is watching success stories, and whether it's on the product or the people that are in this industry. And that's what I've done my whole life. And people go, what do you do to get excited? If you watch videos, there's 3,000, testimonials out there on what the product can do for you in every category. And what you got to do is you just got to listen to them, and then your mind will go, oh my God, I know someone that's struggling with this. But then it is sort of like the third door approach, I call it. So now if I know something's wrong and I hear this person that now got great results on it, I can reach out to you and go, hey, Mike, do you know any person right now that's struggling with arthritis?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they go, why? It's just like, are you kidding me? Do you know anyone that's struggling with this? Or you know anyone that's struggling with this? I have a side door approach where I never ask the person directly. It's just who I am. If what you're doing that you've learned from somebody else is working really good for you, keep doing that. But for me, I was introverted. If you know an auto mechanic, They're not really social butterflies. So I couldn't do the direct approach. So I would always ask people, do you know of somebody? Could you do me a favor? Do you know of anyone that needs extra money? Do you know anyone that is suffering from not sleeping? You know, and I would do that. And they would always look at me and go, well, what is this? And then I'd go, why, are you interested? And they go, well, it depends on what it is. And I go, dude, I'm not the expert. You got time to watch a couple of short videos? Yeah, I'll send you over a playlist. And I guarantee when you watch these videos, you're going to know of somebody I can help.
I love that. So let me recap a couple things
Cool.
here, Robert. So, couple key takeaways for all of you that are watching here tonight. Number one, and it seems obvious, but I'm going to repeat it, and that is make sure you know why you joined this business, right? We know why we took the product. This product is the least on trial product in the history of network marketing because there's 25 million invested, 80 patents, 92 studies, 26 we know the product works. We know it
Yeah,
works for you. You just got to decide if you're going to take it every day and you want to continue taking it every day because it's going to raise your natural glutathione levels. And it's the only thing natural in the world that does it. So the product we know works. The question is, are you going to work it? And if that's the case,
good.
why? Why are you doing it? Number two, make sure you ask other people that. Because I
Yeah,
can tell you in America today, I'll just use America. I know there's people from Mexico, Canada watching as well, but in America, I'm sure it's the same in other markets. People are wanting to dream again. Some people have tasted some success. They've had just a little bit and then they've lost it. They've got into financial stress or maybe they overspent with kids. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but people
right.
want it now. So they want you to ask them, you're right, that you're kind of being thoughtful. I was watching the great coach Lou Holtz. One of his he just passed away, and
One of the best.
one
Rest
of
in
the best.
peace,
And
man.
and he said, there's only three things that you got to do, and he has a great talk on it. I'm not going to go on that, but the third thing is like be kind to people, be thoughtful to
Right.
people, let them know you care, and that's part of this. He said, when's the last time somebody came up to you and ask you something thoughtful for absolutely no reason for them. And
Correct.
really, it was about you. And I think that's where we can do a really good job when we talk to brand new consultants that are like, "Hey, I want to be a pro. I want to make 500 a month. I want to make 5,000. I want to make 50,000 a month." That opportunity is all here. People are doing it. It's happening. The momentum has shifted in America in such a positive way. So that's number two: is be thoughtful to people, ask them. And then number three, come meet Robert and the other leaders at the event April 10th and the 11th. It's going to be an amazing event. It's in the Woodlands. It's at the office. I'd love to meet you, take a picture with you, Mauricio, our CEO. But you're going to get to rub shoulders with people like Robert, people like Josh, people like Denise, people like Chris, people like, so many diamonds and golds and
I'm
executive
so
diamonds and
glad that I
platinum.
went to the last one. Oh
It was a
my
great
God.
time, wasn't
It
it?
was, it was, again, you tried to imagine, it's impossible to imagine. And to get to spend some time with you and Mauricio, the owner, and go see corporate headquarters and meet all the incredible people is just a great, great, great feeling. It really took me to the next level of knowing that you guys are going to be here for a while.
That's right. That's right. All right. I want to end on a random topic.
Okay.
And I want to talk. So, one of your biggest successes actually was in a Latin American business, right?
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting. I'm not saying you came full circle, but it's kind of cool that, this company has a lot of Latin influence. And you're actually going to fly down with me to Bogota, Colombia. You're going to be at our Immunofest, sharing some really exciting things. But I'm curious from your perspective. You're somebody who's you're sitting on top of the compensation plan here. You've done it very quickly. You've got massive amount of influence, but you're like just getting warmed up. You've got a
Just,
big
yeah.
vision to go out and build. And I know we're going to go down to Latin America. There's some things that everybody on here won't know everything about, but like we're launching a product that may be in Latin America specifically for that market in a couple months, and it's a product that you've had some success with in the past, the type of product. So when you think about Latin America today, if you're talking to your contacts in Latin America for a second, because I want to
Right.
grab this on video and I want to share this with them. What should they expect to see from Robert Hollis in the next 6 months?
Well, when we were doing 2 billion a year with the company, I'd say probably 90% of my group was Latin America. And I don't want to be mean to the people that are not Latinos, but Latinos, God's first, family second. And sometimes I say that it's the white disease, right? White disease is, if I'm making money, I'm competitive against the guys that I went to high school and college with. It's like I just want to kick their butt. And Latinos are like, hey, I'm making money. I want to employ my whole family.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's like, with the average person in some of these countries making $200 US a year, it's like it's when you get them to dream, and I tell people all the time, it's like I can show anybody in the world how to get what they want in life. They just got to figure out what they want. Okay, so most people will say the classics. I need to pay my bills. I'd like to get a newer car, not a new car. But one of the things that I love about the Latin market is that when it's something that their minds are all about, not only helping people, but they want to go out, sell the product, they earn the income, they come back and get more product. And so they would rather be great at Immunocal than have a job. And so it's a different mentality down there that if you can tell people, listen, you don't have to know what your next job is and you can quit your job tomorrow, their answer is usually yes. And in the United States, it's like, is there a guarantee? And do I have to do something to make money?
It's true.
So I'm looking really, really forward because not all Americans are that way, but it's just that we have so many options here. We just have so many things that we could do, and then we choose to do none of them. And then another problem with people in America is they're a Jill or Jack of all trades and a master of none.
Mm.
So they're not trying to get good at Facebook. They're trying to get good at every social media platform on the planet.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? And so I'm really excited because the product that I know that we're introducing, the biggest thing I say about that product all the time is you don't have to remind people to take it. So my brand new customers I got into on Immunocal, I was like, listen, did you take your Immunocal today? Ah, damn. I got to remember to do that. When you can have a product that you don't have to remind them to take, it can build some pretty quick fire under it for sure.
I love it. Well, I know I'm excited about that down there. I just wanted to throw that out there. And I know our Latin American friends are going to love to hear that because when you think about somebody who's had the success that you've had in Latin America as an American, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool, and knowing that you're like, we're going to go recreate something that is so crazy, so big, so huge. And the great part is everybody on this call that's in America can actually build businesses in Latin America. They can build it across the street in their city. They can build it across the country. They can build it across the world,
You made
all with
such a
social
great
media.
point, Mike, because, again, my way of asking people is, hey, who do you know? Could you do me a favor? Who do you know? Every one of you that has any team whatsoever, even if they're in another network marketing company or affiliate company,
Yeah.
why couldn't you reach out to them and say, hey, by the way, do you know of anyone in Colombia? Why? Well, companies going down there, they're going to be launching some new things. Do you know anyone there? Because a lot of companies really haven't gotten a good foothold in Latin America.
Very true.
And so if you have a company that's this documented, that's been down there, all their top income earners are from Latin America. So it's like, it was fun because I've reached out to some people you've already, you and I had conversations. And I used to reach out to people all the time with our previous company. And they're like, so can you send me some videos in Spanish? And it's like, no, I cannot. And I
because they
get into
didn't exist.
Immunotech, and I get into Immunotech, and I can't find videos in English. But since you've been aboard, I appreciate you. You've definitely done a great job on that.
We got some really cool new stuff that's going to be introduced in April, video wise, training, some simple tools that people can utilize in their business every single day. We always, as a company, we don't ever force a system on people because we know there's so many different ways to build, but we want to create individual tools that you can use on YouTube. You can use texting, you can use on the app, you can use in person, whatever it may be. So the April event, I would encourage everybody to get down there. Robert, last words. We're about 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Let's talk back to the people that are watching here right now.
Okay.
They're obviously committed. They've been here. I mean, we've not lost, I think, maybe two people in an hour. And there's always two. There's always two
Yeah.
you're going to lose. Maybe I hope we lose a third because I don't like twos. I like three. But you know, they've hung around because number one, you're your passionate, your excitement, and I think everybody knows that that's an important trait in life. You don't have to
Yeah.
be an extrovert to have success in this business, but man, if you like what you're doing, people can feel it. If you don't like what you're doing, people can feel it.
Yep.
So, what would you share with those that are on here that maybe are not yet gold or not yet diamond, and they're running right now? They're like, I'm going after customers. I'm going to get those 10 customers. I'm running gold for the month of March. I'm running for diamond. What would you share with them? Or requalifying gold or requalifying diamond?
Right. Well, the first thing I would say to each and every person that's watching this right now is regardless if you believe this or not, you're a miracle. You are a flat out created miracle. And as soon as you can believe
Yeah.
that, as soon as you can believe that, if you feel like you don't have it, you do have it. I'll give you permission. Mike and I give you permission to be successful, to be happy, to be enthusiastic. And thesos means God within. And just like Mike said, you can tell when people are excited and when they're not. So let's just say that you're not one of those people that are excited. That was me when I first got in. But I since I've been in this company, I've wore Mike's video out. You know, because he's enthusiastic. He believes in what he's doing, and he's also a believer like me. So when you believe that you're created, you're unique, there's no one like you. No one like you. You were created with your own DNA. You were created to be a miracle. You were created to be extraordinary. And you just got to work with other people like Mike and I
Yeah.
that believe that you are. I'm still one of those people that people say, "Oh, well, you can't tell me that anyone can do this." And I'm like, "Bullshit. Yes, I can." Because if you've seen me, and Mike even says this, the best people in this industry, like Denise and Josh and Chris and people that are on here, you just don't know our stories prior to this. You just don't know our stories. And then what we did is we seen somebody that looked at us and went, Mike, you're going to crush this. And you're like, really?
It's true.
Oh, I see it in you. You're going to be one of the top people. Shut up. Really? Oh yeah, I know you can do this. Watch me. Why? So if you're not doing that for your people, you got to do it as well. So the brand new people, I'm going to tell you, is that you got to use an expert. You got to use the videos. So Josh put together the $1 billion run for those of you that are a part of it. I mean, I made 5.4 million income disclosure statement by using Josh Weigel's videos. Because when that guy talks to people, people believe him. They flat out believe him. Same with Chris Robinson. So it's like you got to find the person that when you put people in front of them, they go, this is going to happen. I got to show this video to other people. So for those of you that are struggling, I'm just telling you until you know that you're an expert, use an expert. And not to get off track here, But I just felt recently that I wanted to get really super connected. So last night I watched the Passion of the Christ again. You know what I mean? And when I watched that, the number one thing that I even seen is that at the very beginning, not to get off track, is you can see that he's in agony because he knows what's going to happen.
Mm.
And he goes to his three best people and he goes, why can't you stay awake for an hour and pray with me? He had to do it 3 times. So I want every one of you to know that if you got people that are around you and they keep dropping the ball, don't give up on them.
It's true.
If I was following a dude that was raising the dead and making people see and he asked me to stay awake for a couple hours to pray for him, I'd go, listen, you can count on me.
That's right.
But all three of them said you can count on me until he went and checked on them and they were sleeping.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give a little more mercy and grace to my organization when I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? I was sleeping.
Yeah, it's true though. I love it. Well, Robert, thank you for joining us tonight. I think we got tons of comments, great feedback, and we'll definitely have you on again, and we'll talk some more. And what I love is that we're going to use this power call to really take the power from somebody like Robert and pull it through the screen to you, so you get to watch this because this isn't as good as being in person in Houston, but it's the next best thing because we're here, we're live. This is not recorded. This is real, right? I'm in my office right now. This is not a recording. So we will definitely be continuing to do that. So number one, get registered, everybody. Number two, thank you so much, Robert. We got what's today's date? Today is the 9th. We got like 3 weeks left in the month of March. So push to that next level.
Yes.
I can't wait to see many of you that are watching from Latin America on this replay in Mexico. And then those of you in Bogota, Colombia, I'll see you there. And then Europe in May. We've got a busy event outside of the U.S., but I can't wait to see everybody April 10th and the 11th in the Woodlands, Texas, and Houston. So get registered for that. Robert Hollis, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, Mac.
Diamond, 39 years, 68 millionaires, almost 800,000 person group doing $2 billion a year. Thank you for sharing some big mission. I know
always wanted to have 1 million active people in my group, and this is the company I'm going to do it
I
with.
like it. Well, we got a big goal for 2x27. We're taking that number to $1 billion in the next 5 years by 2030. And I know you're going to be a big part of it. So thanks, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you everybody, for joining us tonight. Have a great evening.